This will be the second video of the Google Forms. Now the first part of the first video was to understand how to create, set up, make a basic Google form. This video will walk you through how to retrieve the results, how to get that data from your students. Now Google Forms recently has made it very easy for you to get those results. You'll notice I'm back on the editing form or editing part of the Google form right here. And I do want to show you real quickly how you can add images to your questions. So let's say I'm on this question right here. If I go over here, I can click this little image or this icon right here, and it pops up all these different options for me. It's very easy to customize this for your specific class, your specific grade level, or whatever you want it to be, science or math or whatever it is. I can also go by URL. So if I found an image that I want, let's say it's this one, I'm going to right click and go to copy image address. Right click paste, it'll show the image right here. I press select. So now on my Google form, when the students take it, maybe they can't read, or maybe it has to be something they have to look at the image. And I can do the same thing for this one. I'll just type in, actually this one is Blockly, so I'll type in, find a chunk of the code that I want, right click, copy image address, right click, paste. If it does not show up here, it means the image did not work. I simply click select. So now I have two images with my choices. You can also add images in between. You can add images to kind of help spicing up or get your form exactly the way you want it to look. So I'm going to leave these for now. A couple of different options you can do. One option that is really nice, that's fairly new for Google Forms, is if I click on the settings icon over here, I can go over to quizzes and I can make this a quiz. Release grade immediately after each submission, which would mean when a student is done and they click submit, they see the results right away. The feedback time is tremendous on this because the students literally click the button and there's their results. Later, after manual review, this might mean if you have a bunch of longer answers where they have to type in paragraph text where you have to actually analyze the questions and answers, respondents can see. Now, for some reason, if you don't want them to see the correct answers, you could limit that or you could take that out. Point values and missed questions, but I'm just going to leave it the way it is right now. So I'm going to click save. What that does to your Google form is it turns it into you're now having to grade it right here. So I'm going to click on the question. It says answer key right here. It says choose the correct answer. So all I have to do here is click in the circle and I'm going to give it a point value. 1, I think it goes a long ways up. So if I'm just going to do a real basic one so it counts as 1 point. I can edit the question. I can add answer feedback. How powerful would that be to give your students a message? Hey, great job, keep up the good work. You can say incorrect answers. Oh, keep trying, or don't forget this. Here's a URL. You can connect a URL to it. You can also, when they get the correct answer, great job, give them some kind of encouragement to keep on going. For now, I'm just going to click over here and go down to my next question. Answer key, and I'm going to select the correct one here and give it a point value of 1, and then I'm done with my questions. I'm going to preview it, and then I'm going to quickly take the test. Now when I click submit, it already pops up right here. So I can click on view your score. Now submit another response. This can be taken off when you go back to your form. You can limit that where it says limit to only 1 response so the students cannot have that option to click it again. View your score, and here is the results. Now this is going to show how many points you got it correct, what's the correct answer, if you missed anything. Very powerful tool that Google has set up. There's another option. I'm going to show you a different way to do this. Now responses right here. Now you're going to have to imagine that you have more than the same student taking this quiz, as I've taken it twice now. You can see that this is going to give you some nice graphs, some point distribution. It's going to show you average, median, and range for your scores. Imagine you had 20 or 30 students taking this test. That would be very valuable for you. You can also go down here and see how many or what percentage of students got each question correct. A coding language, here's the 2, and so forth. You can also come back up here and you can go to individual. So I can see that here's the student's email, here's what they chose. I can go to number 2. Let's pretend it's a different student's name, and I can do that. There's a release score option. So one of the things behind this would be if you don't want the students to maybe have the correct answers, or maybe you are waiting for a couple students that are gone today and you don't want to totally release the scores, I can wait to release the scores. When I click release the score, it'll go and you can select whom you're sending it to, send emails and release. Now if you'll notice right up here on my email, this will change here very shortly to 5. So now my students can open up their email and they're going to see their score right there. They can click the view. It takes them right back to where we just were with when they could view their score just like this. Another option for you, I'm going to go back here to the summary and the questions. It does give you the option to open it in a spreadsheet. So I'm going to go to responses. Here's the symbol for Google Spreadsheets. And if I click on it, what it does is it takes the name you created the Google form right here, and it's going to create that same name as a spreadsheet. Select existing spreadsheet. This would be if I've already created the spreadsheet. I haven't, so I'm just going to let Google create it for me. So I'm going to click create. All right, so again, with it creating its own spreadsheet, it does put all the information right here for you. Now you do have to imagine that you have more questions than just 2 questions. And you have to imagine that you have more than just the same student taking this quiz or assessment or survey or what have you. One thing that's really nice is with the timestamp. It does show you exactly what time the student did submit. Maybe you do have a firm deadline or a due date as far as when they have to get this taken care of. Or if it's you're gone and a sub is here, you need to make sure you're checking the time, something like that. You can have access to all the spreadsheet that you need. You can share this with somebody else. So let's say the SAT coordinator or the ESL or a different teacher needs access to the spreadsheet. You can share that right there. Now you wouldn't share this with your students because it has all their information on it, but it would give you the possibility to share with another collaborator or someone that's going to work with you. Now if you did not set this up as a quiz back here, so let's say you did not mark that as the value, you can still grade it when you come over here. Now there is an add-on, and I've already loaded it, but if you didn't load it, you would go down to Get Add-ons, and it's called Flubaroo. What Flubaroo does, and I'll enable it in this sheet, and what happens is it's going to allow you to remember the ones that you've used. So once I load Flubaroo once, every time I open the spreadsheet, it's going to ask, do you want to use Flubaroo? So I'm going to click on Grade Assignment. Now what you would do here, the difference between using Flubaroo and setting it as an automatic quiz is I'm going to have to go through, give the point totals here. I also need to take the quiz as if I am one of the students. So think of it like you take your paper and pencil and write out the test, and then maybe with a marker, you're going to then go in and fill it out. You're going to fill out an answer guide or an answer key. You're doing that right now. So instead of email address, I would take the test as a student, so to speak, or the answer key, and I'm going to click on here's all the correct answers. So what Flubaroo does is it takes the submissions that your students had and it matches it up against the ones that you answered. Now what happens here is it's going to create a separate spreadsheet, or a separate tab I should say, down here, and it shows you how many points they received, what the score was, how many times they submitted it. Now one thing that's going to be kind of a little bit goofy here is I forgot to take out the question where it says score. They shouldn't receive a point for the score. There should only be 2 points here. So what I would do is I would go back to the submissions. They can't get a score for having the one that says 2 out of 2. So I would go back in here and I would rerun it. So every time you rerun it, that's like if new students. So you have 4 new students that submitted. I can come in here. Easier way to do this is in the beginning, just set this up as a quiz. Make it as a quiz, hit save, all your work is done for you. You have the ability to see the individual and the summary. So lots of great things that you can do with that. Also, if you come over here, we talked a little bit about presentation style. You can set up how you shuffle it, and then quizzes, don't forget about this, later after manual review, or immediately after each submission. All right, best of luck making the form and then really checking over that data. Thank you.